Hello everyone and welcome to Inside Line Racing, also known as ILR. This is ILR 6 and this season will be brought to you by myself, Leon. You may have heard me around in a couple of divisions last season as a reserve, but I've got a full-time spot in ILR 6 this season, so we can have coverage of this division. So here is a list on the left hand side of everyone who's in ILR 6 for this season. I believe someone is missing, or two people are missing, and there is a reserve in here, I believe. But everyone's names is there. You'll see them most likely weekly. Can't really put any predictions on who might win, who might not, because it's a new division. Have no clue. But the person who has got fastest lap time at the moment is GG Bigsery, if that's how you say it right. They've done a 21.8, first person into the 21s, and Oshin is the first person to retire and hasn't set a lap, so will most likely start towards the back of the grid, as there have been yellow flags a lot. Recently. Let's get off Nitro, as I've been on board with him for quite a long time. Let's go to people who haven't set a lap yet. Scott, is Scott on a lap? No, he's just backed off. Speed Iceman, no. Ipswich Boy is going through the third to last corner, coming up to the penultimate corner, tight left-hander. Quite easy to overshoot the corner, quite easy to spin on exit, takes it quite nicely. Now through the final corner, can you get anywhere near that 20 time? It's going to be a 21.4. Very nice lap from Ipswich Boy there, puts him on provisional pole by 3.5 tenths. There are still a few people who haven't set lap time so far, but I don't think there's anyone else for the moment who is setting a lap time. Welcome, Jack. Comrades pulls off into the pit lane, has done a 2:04, so will definitely improve. Probably just made an error somewhere or has backed off on his lap, so I expect that to be improved. Scott, will Scott be starting a lap with clean air and no traffic? Yes, he will, so we'll take a lap on board with Scott for the first round of the new season. Coming into turn one, takes it in fourth gear, goes over the curb quite nicely, a little bit wobbly on exit and has to back off the lap. He was quite close to the wall there. Good thing he did slow down before he was going to hit the wall. Good save as well. But that is another lap that he'll have to cancel. I believe Joe's just come out the pit, so has Joe just started a lap? Joe's just started a lap, so we'll continue the lap with Joe. Coming through turn 3 now, this little complex of corners, turn 3, 4, 5 and 6, which rounds out the first sector. Turn 5 here, flat out right hand, you don't want to clip the curb on the inside, otherwise it may spin you. First sector is a 26.7, which is actually pretty decent. Turn 6, quite difficult. On overcast conditions it's not that bad, but with official timing and it being sunny, it's quite hard to see the apex of the corner. Now this is turn 9 and 10, takes it quite nicely. Don't want to get on that curb on the outside of the corner, otherwise it probably will spin you. Coming up now into turn 11 and 12, the hardest complex on this track. Quite easy to lose it on the exit at turn 12. You want to hit the centre of the curb on the exit, and it looks like Joe has hit that perfectly, but was a bit cautious into turn 11. Coming up now into what is, I believe, turn 13. Quite an easy right-hander 90-degree corner through quite a swooping right-hander of the third to last corner. Now the penultimate corner, as I said, quite a difficult one. Does clip the inside curb, which will make him go deep for the final corner. Another swinging right-hander, and we'll come up to the line to set a 1:21.3 and goes quickest. So a very impressive lap there from Joe. Quite lucky there that I was able to go on board with the provisional pole sitter with that lap. Let's have a look at Johnny. Johnny, no, not a lap. Rebecca, if that's how you say the name correctly, is coming through the third sector now, braking for what is, I believe, turn 13 in the Toro Rosso. As I said, I'm not going to put any predictions down on who I think is going to win. It's the first round of the season. I have no clue. Coming up through the final corner, what can they do? It's going to be a 1:22. 23.3, which puts them 13th. Welcome, Johnny. You're having a mare. I could agree with you there. You and your team haven't set a lap time yet, so it's not great. Meanwhile, Joe is on provisional pole with his teammate not even in the session. Well, is in the session, but probably in his garage, wondering why his car is in a wall. But you know, lost into turn 6 on my first lap and lost it on the final corner. So what it sounds like, Red Bull seems to be struggling, as you can obviously see by the timing screen. But I guarantee they'll both perform, they'll both get their lap times in. So I do see another Red Bull going out. I don't know which one that is. It's Scott. But I'll check if there's anyone else on lap time so far. OMG Breath, as I say his name, has just finished his lap and has done a 22.1, and that's put him in 7th. Seems to be quite a space in between from the top end of the grid to the middle and to the low. The gap seems to form from the first two down. MWR, I believe, just started a lap. Raptor is up by 7/10, so we'll see what they can do. Coming through the final corner. Doesn't run too far wide. Will this be a 21? It won't. It's a 22.0, but puts them 6th. So again, another 3 attempts in that final sector. Not a bad lap there. Meanwhile, Bastos is up on a lap. 2.5 attempts up in the first sector. It was a little bit wide through turn 10. But there seems to be no issue there. Coming up through this curve that I don't believe is classed as a corner. Through turn 11 and 12 now, up by 3.5 attempts. Takes it very nicely. Still a bit cautious, in my opinion. What's the delta between everyone? There you go. Quite spacious from the top two. Bastos through the final corner. What can they do? Can he go quickest on the set of medium compound tyres? It will be a 1 minute 23.3, which puts him 13th and quickest of the mediums. However, MWR has gone quickest with a 1:21.2 on the set of softs. Very good there from the Sauber driver. I've got a feeling we may sneak into the 20s, but it will only be a 20.9 if we do. Big Surrey, if that's how you say the name, is 2 attempts up, coming for the final corner. What can they do? Can they get anywhere near pole? It's going to be a 1 minute 21.4. Slight improvement, puts them in 4th, just behind Ipswich Boy. Speed Iceman's just started a lap. Aledi is in the first sector. Nipro is not on a lap. Heavy is on a lap, but nowhere near. Scott is coming through the final sector, a bit wobbly out of turn 13. The Red Bulls did say they are struggling, looks quite apparent. Going for the penultimate corner now, probably the most difficult corner or braking zone on the track. Through the final corner quite nicely. What can he do to get onto the board? It's going to be a 22.0, and that puts him in 8th. Johnny's teammate, yet again, hasn't set a lap time, and it's only going to have 1 run left. So one Red Bull up in the top 10, the other one smack at the bottom. Was it Aledi? Yes, Aledi through the penultimate corner now, 2 and a bit temps up. Can get him up a few positions. If he can improve even more, can get into the top 5. What will this lap time be? It's going to be a 1 minute 21.7. A slight improvement puts them 6th. Speed Iceman not on a lap. Heavy through, coming to the line. Goes 8th for the 1:21.8. So everyone seems to be getting their lap times in. A few of them are waiting for the final runs. Joe is down in the first sector by 100th, so not the greatest first sector there from the Racing Point driver. Oh, clips a lot of the curb on the inside of turn 10. That's going to slow him down for this little straight, and he's down now by pretty much half a tenth. Coming through turn 11 and 12, needs to attack it, attacks it very nicely. Doesn't run too far wide to invalidate or even spin off into the barrier. Coming up into turn 13. Takes that very nicely, a lot of curbs to try and get around the corner. For the fast right-hander here. Takes that very nicely through the penultimate corner. Barely touches the curb on the inside, which is what you want to do. Now through the final corner, an excellent run. What can it be? Will it be provisional pole? Yes, it will. 121.1. That final sector from Joe was brilliant and was able to get himself ahead of the Alfa Romeo driver. Now I'm still going to stick by, saying we're going to get into the 20s. Hello Spang and Chips or Lenny. Hello Lewis Marshall, and hello Pure Fatal. Anyone else? We've got Rebecca, who's the only one on the lap at the moment, going for the first sector. While have all the track to themselves. It's currently down by a tenth in the first sector, however. What can they do? Coming up into turn 9 and 10. A bit wide, bit of a late apex into 9, but does get quite a nice run out of 10. I believe they backed off, I'm not too sure. No, they are up. Never mind, they're up by 2 tenths. Through turns 11 and 12, takes that quite nicely. Don't want to take too much of the curb on the inside of 12. It's quite easy to invalidate. Coming up into turn 13, a little bit wide on exit. His yellow flags in sector 1. Through the third to last corner, coming up to the penultimate corner. Takes that very nicely. You can see the brakes there heating up as they go orange. Through the final corner, what can they do? Will it be anywhere further up the grid? Yes, it will. They put themselves 13th, and now it's time for the final runs. So who are we going to go on board with first? I think it's going to be Bastos. Unless Johnny's on a lap. Johnny is, so this is make or break time for Johnny. Will he be starting last or will he be starting further up the grid? Coming into turn 11 and 12, doesn't want to invalidate. This is going to put a lot of pressure on himself, having not been able to complete a valid lap. Got traffic ahead of him coming up into turn 13. That is a Renault that has got out the way. I believe my hood is off, so I will have to change that. Couldn't see the name there. But through the final corner, Johnny a little bit wide. What can Johnny do? Johnny will set a valid lap time. It will be a 1:22.0. Puts him 10th, and I will quickly sort my settings out. On-screen display on. So there we go. Scott is on a lap as well. I believe that was Niels who joined the lobby. Or Niles. MWR up by almost a tenth and a half in the first sector, so he is absolutely flying. Has lost it all, however, in the middle sector. So that is not great. Nipro Racing also, I believe, has invalidated, but has enough time, I believe, to get a lap done. Let's check out one who's closest to finishing. I believe it is Stiggy. Stiggy coming up through the third to last corner. What can the Haas driver do? Can he get anywhere near his teammate, who is currently up in 4th, and that was his first lap time, I believe, off the session through the final corner. What can the Haas driver do? Can he get anywhere into the 21s? No, it's a 22.1, and I believe they stay 14th. No, they go up 1 place into 14th. Nipro Racing is not on a lap. Big Sari, I believe, if that's Nipro. MWR has gone in the pit, so is Nipro. What can Big Sari do? It's going to be a 1:21.1, half a tenth behind Joe. Anyone else? Speed Iceman. What can Speed Iceman do? A 21.4. Patuca, there is a Ferrari there as well. I think it was Bre. Patuca goes provisional pole with a 1:21.1. Very close to the 120s, and oh, Aleddy's been distracted by a Force India, or sorry, a Racing Point there. Oh, I believe that is Joe. So very interesting there. Anyone else? Ipswich Boy is on a lap, coming through the final corner. What can Ipswich Boy do? Oh, Ipswich Boy's at the wall incredibly hard, and he's not going to improve on their lap. Stiggy's not on a lap. Scott's not either. and Raptor isn't either, so that is it for qualifying. Patuka, who I believe is a reserve, has got pole position. Johnny's saying that was an awful lap, but Johnny is in the greatest position. Johnny is in, oh, what is 12th? Someone did actually improve on the lap time just then. No, Johnny's 12th, yeah. But yeah, Johnny, you're not in a bad spot, mate. You have free choice of tyre over everyone else. The top 14. Well, basically the top 16 is practically separated by a second, which is what we like to see. There was quite a big gap at the start of qualifying, but now we have everyone quite nicely bunched up. Wouldn't mind a safety car or two just to throw things up. I did see in ILR1 PC the other day. I think that was a safety car on lap 27. What time does Tier 5 start? ILR 5 starts at 8 o'clock along with ILR 4. I've slightly messed myself up doing ILR 6 commentary, but I don't mind. I've got ILR 4 right after. So if you want to see me race, I'll be in ILR 4. But anyway, here's the grid for qualifying. Patuka's on pole, Joe second, joins him on the front row of the grid. Big 3 third, MWR 4th, Nipro 5th. Then followed by Ipswich, Speed Iceman, Aledi, Carmeds and Heavy. That is your top 10. They all have to start on the soft compound tyre. Outside the top 10 is Bastos, Johnny, Raptor, Scott, Stiggy, OMG Bray, Rebecca, Big W and Oshin. Oshin being the only person to not set a lap entirely. Still not going to put any predictions down for who's going to win because I've got no clue. It looks like it's going to be a... No, I can't remember who it was. I know it was a Racing Point, but I can't remember specifically who. I'm calling it that 11 people will finish. I'm going to call that there's 13 finishers. I thought I had no game sound then for a second. What's the weather? I have no clue. I wish I knew, but I don't know. As the formation lap begins, very dry, very sunny. So I look at the tyres outside the top 10, everyone is on mediums. Bar Stiggy, Oshin and Niels. Niels has been able to join in, but will be on the default setup in the McLaren. No, it doesn't look like rain. I think the odds of rain in this race is solid 0% unless it's a drastic weather change. Got aboard with the leader. But will they be the leader going into turn 1 or turn 3? We do not know. If anyone in the chat does want to say a prediction, it'll have to be a fairly bold prediction, but if anyone in the chat has one. As I've just literally pressed on the ILR 7 stream and there's been a ginormous pileup. So yeah, interesting. I love to see that all 3 tiers are all around about the same viewing, which is quite nice to see. If anyone wants to go and see ILR 7, ILR 8, they are also on the Inside Line Racing channel, or Inside Line Racing League. So as everyone is getting ready to line up on the grid, with Patuka at the start and Neil's at the back, and Oshin has spun on the formation lap. Well, let's just say that's an interesting one. So at the back we'll be starting with Oshin will be waiting on. So as we get ready for the start of Season 6, we've got 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. And away we go for the start of Season 6 here in ILR 6. Looks like Patuka's got off to a fairly good start. Joe tucks off in behind. There's a Haas moving around in the background going into turn 1. Is there any carnage going on? There is. Oh, there's a Haas round. Oh, there's a big pile up, I believe. There are people off left, right and centre. Oshin is out again. People are spun round left, right and centre. Carmeds is involved. Ipswich Boys involved. ONG Brett is involved. So is Aledi. So is Niles, I believe, who's just tussling with Big W. Absolute pile up at the start there. Multiple drivers involved. Oshin retired at the start of qualifying and has retired on lap 1. But here comes Joe. Will he go down the inside? Oh, Patuka almost left in no room down the inside of turn 11. It is going to look like. Oh, they're going to keep side by side. Looks like Patuka's got a good run, but then Joe's got the run out of turn 12. We'll look for the inside and has got it. Who will break later? It's Patuka. And Patuka keeps the position for now. And keeps the lead. Who's that? That's Nipro down the inside of Big Suri. I believe he's got the move done. No. Oh, that is a dive bomb and a half there from the Renault driver. Someone else has gone up front. Someone's got swing damage up top. Patuka's got the move back done on Joe. There's absolute carnage going on at the start here. Someone at the front has got wing damage. I don't know who it is. Joe's literally pushing Patuka around. Will he track around the outside of turn 3? The Racing Point driver, oh, I believe they've got the wing damage, I'm not 100% sure, but has got the move done. Oh, the Renault! Oh, the Renault was moving about all over the spot. Oh, this is Scott. On what was Scott? Oh, I thought he was going to go down his head there, a Stiggy, but he didn't. Patuka's got the wing damage. Patuka has got the wing damage. Now that's Nipro trying to get past his teammate. Nipro has passed MWR and MWR has messed up his own line. And what has happened there? Big Sue's ghosted through him. Meanwhile, Raptor has passed Rebecca towards the back of the grid. There's a gap already forming from first to the rest of the grid. Patuka's really holding up the rest of the field. It looks like Nipro's going to get the move done. Speed Iceman. Oh, Heavy's off at turn 12. Heavy's the first victim of turn 12 and has dropped to all the way at the back of the grid. Looks like Johnny and Bastos are battling. Bastos has got the move done. Bastos has an absolutely flying start. Oh, Big Sur's off. Oh, his teammate. Oh, and he's in the back of Speed, and Speed Iceman's in the back of him. Oh, and Stinky's off as well. What is going on here? Absolute carnage is going on here. Look at the amount of cars in this shot. We've got Bastos and Speed Iceman going at it. Everyone seems to survive. Big W's back in the fight. Oh no, it was Heavy who spun, sorry, not Big W. Oh, there's a tap there from Scott from Speed Iceman. Oh, Speed Iceman shoving him back through. Johnny's now passing his teammate for what is P8. Absolute chaos. NWR's now on the back of Patuka. Will he go down the inside of turn 9? No. But gets a fairly good run on him. Will he go for it? No. Stiggy and Raptor. Looks like Stiggy's got the move done on Raptor. Nope. There's an absolute train there going on. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. And that's Nipper off in the barrier. The second place running car has lost it at turn 12 and has lost a piece of his wing, and that is someone else off. So Joe now with a massive lead of 3.5 seconds, and Ipswich Boys out also at turn 12. And it's a safety car, and I thought that would happen. There is a safety car on lap 3. There has been so many wings flying all over the place, and Joe's 3.5-4 second lead has come to an end. A safety car on lap number 4. This gives me a chance to have a drink and reflect, as there are a lot of pit stops. So 2 retirements at the moment, which is very surprising considering the amount of wings I saw fly off. But Joe will lead. Oh, hello. I won't get that close to the safety car, Joe. But anyway, Joe leads, and will lead the safety car in a couple laps' time when the safety car comes in. So an absolute crazy start as Joe is looking to pass the safety car. Absolutely manic start. If anyone is just joining the stream whilst the safety car is out, and Joe taps the safety car again. Whilst the safety car is out, you can just look back at the past few laps. Absolute chaos. Ooh, revving your engine there. That's not great for your engine there, Joe, but personal preference, I suppose. Well, I've looked at people who've done stops so far. That's the wrong thing. So 12th down have all done a stop. For what tyre? A few have gone for the hards, so a few could try and stretch the hards, and that is NWRP. Could stretch not the softs, the hards till the end. NWR's pitting for a set of mediums. And Carl Meds is pitting for also a set of mediums. So we'll put these two last and second to last. So for me in second, NWR has put himself to the back of the grid. So yeah, rather interesting. And we'll be around about 9 seconds off Joe, plus trying to get through the traffic. I think Joe could be in a good position here. Joe can now extend his soft stint a couple more laps as the safety car is out, and could possibly stretch it to the mediums. Now whilst the safety car is going around, we'll have a look at the other tiers. We'll have a look at ILR 7. Everything seems to have calmed down over there. They've got 3 retirements at the moment. We'll have a quick brief look at ILR 8. I've clicked on ILR 7 again. Brief look at ILR 8. And there's 2 retirements there. So yeah, safety car is in this lap. So everyone has been able to catch up, and the safety car will be coming in this lap. So the action can get underway. Oh, there's a lot of 5-second penalties that I just saw fly past. So Joe leads the pack, and he's really wanting to get underway. The safety car's not even reached their pit, so he gets to dictate when to go. And goes on the exit, the final corner. We are underway again. He's nice. He's got a very good start. Johnny is really quick to respond to that. And so, I thought someone was off already. People are pitting on the end of the safety car, which is a silly idea. In my opinion, Johnny's off. No, Johnny. Oh, he's half spun. Cold tyres. That was a ghosting system I just saw there. That's unusual. And that's Johnny now down the inside of Stiggy almost. More chaos, but Joe again with another lead. Oh, and that's Big W off. Oh, there's more yellow flags going on. Niels is off. Niels has had an off. There's more carnage and there's people in the pits. They've crashed into each other during the safety car. Stiggy seems to have got a little bit slow, so does Johnny. Big W's not going to go down inside of turn 11, is he? No, he's not. He's completely messed up his line through turn 11 and 12, which allows Raptor in. But nothing can be done. Watch out for Patuka as well. Patuka maybe going to the end, perhaps. Raptor runs wide. Raptor runs wide. Takes out a polystyrene board as well, and Patuka gets the move done up into 7th. Sorry about the Windows notification. But yeah, carnage. Raptor's off in the wall at sector 3, and also Aleddy's off, spun. More carnage. Raptor no wing. Aleddy, I don't think has much of a wing, or maybe just spun round, but yeah, more incidents. MWR now, will he launch it down the inside of Speed Iceman? Yes, he will. Coming up through turn 4, and MWR has got the move done. Now involved a little battle for P3. As Johnny is trying to get onto the back of Stiggy, and Stiggy's lost DRS to Rebecca. Johnny I think is going to get the move done fairly soon. Ooh, and a little bit wide on the exit of turn 12. Do not want to do that. Just sticks in behind for now. Coming through turn 13. You've got Big W as well in the background. You've got a lot of cars now who are joining this train. Stiggy defends the inside. So again, holding them up. Johnny's a good run at this final corner. Doesn't really get it compared to Stiggy, and DRS has been re-enabled after the safety car has come in. So no one actually have it yet. That's Big W down the inside of Johnny into turn 1. Very optimistic there from Big W. I must have very low wings to get that move done. And it's up into P5, so very good there. Oh! What's happened there? Patuka's gone off along with Johnny. Oh, what has happened there? Patuka must have misjudged his braking point by an absolute country mile. Sorry about this. Oh, I just got a cough there. Now back on with the action. Carmad has now passed Johnny. So Johnny is just falling down the grid. Very unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. Wasn't in a bad position, but now pretty much is. Meanwhile, Big W and Stiggy are about to go into conflict, but Big W has got massive straight line speed compared to the rest of the grid from what it looks like. Then even though that is a bad run from the Mercedes driver, we'll go over with NWR, and NWR is going to get a run on Stiggy, and Big W though, no, does hang fire for turn 1. It's a bit far away, but I think he's going to go for it into turn 3. Yes, he will. Around the outside goes the Mercedes driver. Absolutely brilliant move by the Mercedes driver, and he's up to P4. The yellow flags is set to 3, and Niels is out. So there is our third retirement of the race. As Biggs reset the fastest lap. I thought NWO was going to go for a move there down the side of Stiggy, but does Bastos and Nipro. I think Nipro's past Bastos and is getting away. Meanwhile, going back on board with the battle for what is basically P5 now. MWR with the run. They try it around the outside of turn 13. Not exactly orthodox, but we'll try it. Around the outside, onto the grass, still there. Still there, around the outside of the third to last corner. That is an absolute brilliant move from MWR. Stiggy, just, I think his tyres have gone and has lost the position there. Excellent move by MWR, and Stiggy does pit, which will be for a set of hards, and that was a very different pit entry. Goes to 1 mile an hour and revs it. We've now got Own Jeep Brett on Heavy T, and Heavy T's on the back of Bastos. We've got a little bit of a train here going on for P11 perhaps. I think Bastos is just too far away from Nipro, yes. It's just about for P12. Some more yellow flags instead of 1. Oh, and that's a Letty off. At turn 3, that is very far off. So Letty's had a trip to the gravel at some point. Heavy T now, oh, gets the switchback done perfectly. Stiggy's off, oh, and he's put Bray in the wall as well. Oh, there's 2 more people. They're reversing back on track when there's 2 cars coming. More carnage, more people in the barriers. There's more flags in sector 2 as well. That's Big Surrey off as well in sector 1. Another driver off without his wing. Nipro's off, I think. Yeah, Nipro's off and in the wall. What is going on? Yet another driver off and in the wall. Meanwhile, I think Rebecca's had an off as well. Rebecca thinks had an off. I think Rebecca hasn't got much wing, and now Big W's now going to go for a move. Superior straight line speed. I guess the move done for P3. Big W with some massive pace. Something does seem wrong with Rebecca, I'm not going to lie. A bit of understeer on the front from what it does look like. Meanwhile, Heavy T on Bastos into turn 1. To go head to head, the Toro Rosso and Mercedes. The Mercedes tries it around the outside on the grippier, and actually not fresher tyres, but just grippier, and gets the move done. Scott is closing in on Joe at this point. Speed Iceman has lagged out, so that is seriously unfortunate. MWR's got a run on Rebecca, but hasn't got the move. Rebecca does seem to be struggling. We'll find out for this long right-hander. Not too bad there. Big W was a little bit wide. As Speed Iceman joins back, hasn't lost a position, but might do soon. 1 second. Sorry about that. But anyway, NWR has got the move done on Big W. Bastos is, I believe, yeah, he's lost the position to Heavy T. Stiggy's past Nipro, but Nipro has left. Joe came out in P8 with a Letty trying it around the outside, but doesn't get the move done. Patuka and Speed Iceman. Patuka has got the move done. Speed Iceman is, I thought he joined back, but I guess he hasn't. Probably hasn't been able to get back into his car, which is very unfortunate, but them things do happen. Meanwhile, I've got a Letty closing in. Once again on Joe. Moilo flags in sector 3. Oh, okay. Sorry about the flickering. I should probably use the spectator menu. And nothing's happening here. Letty's just closing in on the racing point. Meanwhile, we've got the Alpha of NWO. Closing in on Big W. Gotta run, will he track down the side? Will he? Ooh, he thought about it, definitely thought about it, but Big W just covering it off anyway. NWO just seems to be the slightly quicker driver in this situation between the two. Scott, meanwhile, is just trying to extend the gap to the two behind. Big W is really struggling through the corners, as you can obviously tell, and down the straight, Big W just get away, which NWO doesn't want. Now through turn 11 and 12, oh, Big W with no run at all. NWO tries it around the outside, wow! Not much room was left there, but he's got the move done. Fairly well held there by NWO. I would have backed out personally, but went full in and got the position, and Big W pits. Meanwhile, we've got Bastos and Heavy T. Heavy T now on one soft. Oh, that was close. Heavy T had an off, and that was very close. He almost got hit there. Big W's coming out of the pits. Where's Joe? Joe has passed. Right. So Big W comes out in P7 very comfortably. There's a replacement wing going on for Carl Meds there. Let's have to find out. Oh, what's happened here? The two Toro Rossos are going at it. Hello, Heavy T. Heavy T's have to back out. Rebecca's let Bastos through, but isn't trying to let the Mercedes through, and has let the Mercedes through. So Toro Rosso's strategy there is backfired completely, and Rebecca's on the fresh tyres. So yeah, Toro Rosso really haven't thought the strategy through. Now they've probably got the quickest driver at the back of the battle, and Scott pits. Ooh, very rough line there from Rebecca. We'll see what Scott can do. Scott is coming down the pit lane. He's going to come out behind the Ferrari, which isn't what he needed. He didn't want to be behind that Ferrari, and is. That Ferrari is going to be an absolute road block towards the end. Heavy T pits. Very efficient and slick pit stop there from the Mercedes crew, as always, unless we forget about Germany. Meanwhile, Scott's closing in on Aledi. Aledi seems to be struggling. Aledi's been on the gravel and been everywhere with them set of mediums, or hard, sorry. Scott closing in. Scott may be able to get a move going into turn 13. Has got DRS. Will he push for it? No, he doesn't. He will hang fire for now. He needs to pass Aledi soon. Oh, Aledi breaks early, which catches Scott off guard slightly. Oh, Scott's really being held now, losing a lot of time to Joe up front. Scott is not pushing in a straight line, which does confuse me slightly. But meanwhile, Scott has got the run on Aledi. We'll have to try it around the outside of turn 3. Brakes later. Aledi leaves the room just about a car's width. Now that is Scott down the side of a Leddy, and Scott has got the move done on a Leddy, which is what was needed of him. So now we can go on the chase for the racing point. Meanwhile, the Toro Rossos are now swapped again. Whereas Rebecca needs to get a move on. Speed House has to get back in his car. So that is very nice to see. And Big W is now closed in. Big W is not that far off the lead. If Big W can get a Leddy done quickly, and then possibly get Scott done quickly, Scott is catching Joe, then we could have a huge fight on our hands towards the end of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Big W can't really get much done on the Leddy. A Leddy has got DRS on Big W's actually got penalty. Not what he needed. Can't get the move done either. We've got well with Speed Iceman. The Speed Iceman is within half a second of Patuki. Now these guys do have to pit and they will come out in P8. Or P7 and P8, I believe. But might as well watch the battle for now. And Andrew Orr is actually extending his gap to Joe, or is keeping it fairly similar, slash extending. So yeah, well, Patuki gets a penalty. Patuki's not really in the fight to win here. Will come out around about 15 seconds behind the leader. You're not going to catch that in the last stint, so it's unfortunate. Speed Iceman outbreaks himself. No, it's got DRS, but it's still too far away. Have a look at that gap. Joe is starting to catch now a little bit. Big W now on a Leddy. Looks like this move could be done now. Going into turn one. No, doesn't go for it. And Leddy's got the better run, but Big W with the superior straight line speed, as we all know, isn't good enough. No, oh, that was very close. Almost launched it down the inside. Leddy with a back end wobble. Meanwhile, all these guys are all catching Joe. Joe seems to be struggling on these set of hards. Can't seemingly get the pace going. Oh, legs are an awful error there. That allows Big W in. Big W may go for it into turn 11 here. Around the outside of turn 11, unorthodox. Oh, will he get the move? No, backs out and thinks better of it and ruins his own chances there. I think NWR has got the best chance of winning this race. Sorry to ruin what is such a good race. Not technically ruin, but I don't think there'll be any podium interviews, as I do have ILR 4. Who'd have ILR 4 right after this, and I need to race in it. And there's Big W down the around the outside. Sorry, Valetti gets the move done. Shadow Channel. If you've got Twitter, type in at ILR League, message that account, or the link on that Twitter account goes to the league website, and on there is a mid-season sign-up page, I believe, and you can just jot your name down, jot the information that is required, and something will happen and you'll probably get put in the league. That's how you apply. I'm going with Speed Iceman. It was still just trailing Patuki with a little bit of a wobble on. She just seems to be holding back for now. NWR carries on. No problem, Shadow. Yes, he's been doing his battle. Bastos is closing in on his teammate again. Meanwhile, Mr. Pitt, possibly. I don't know why, I do have an instinctive feeling that these two here may be trying to go to the end. Which is going to be very interesting. Already Pitts, Self-Lights, NONG, Brett is out. Any safety cars? And that is at turn 12. That is the fourth victim, I believe, of that turn 12. So it's taking a lot of names. And NWR again is extending the gap to Joe. So I am heavily confused here. Where's Joe's pace gone? He's now losing time to NWR, and NWR's going to be pitting for a set of softs this or next lap. It'll be next lap. And he'll come out 4 seconds off, Joe. How interesting. Speed X and closing on Patuki. These two are battling for, I believe, what will be the lead. But no, Patuki keeps the position. Iceman now, will he try it around the outside? Yes, he will. Patuki, will he defend it? Yes, he will. Brakes later, takes a tighter line, which will ruin him on exit, and doesn't get the move. And Speed Iceman is up into P2. What will be P1 very shortly. Meanwhile, Scott is in within DRS of Joe. So this is the battle for what I believe is P3. I don't know how long a pit stop is exactly around this track. I believe it's like 22 seconds, something like that. So with NWR most likely pitting this lap to take some softs 8 laps to the end, is in prime position to win this race. Carmeds and Aledi going at it. It looks like Aledi's got the move done for 10th and the one and only point they'll probably get. Meanwhile, NWR still doesn't pit, and at this point is starting to lose drastic time. I would pit at this point and go to softs till the end. The softs will last quite comfortably. Just losing time for himself at this point. Patuki still too far away from Iceman. Scott closing in on Joe. Big W only 2 seconds behind. Everyone's going to start to close up at the end of this race, which is what we'd like to see. And Bastos has repassed Rebecca. Bastos is on double the wear, double the length, and has been able to overtake the teammate. So obviously Bastos is showing tremendous pace, and it's probably going to get a quite comfortable P7. And it looks like comfortable double points for the Toro Rosso team. Scott closing in on Joe. This could be big. This could be big. Scott stays where he is. Meanwhile, let's just get up to the top. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Let's click on profile. The leaders pit. NWR pits. For a set of softs. And comes out 6th. Now how far behind? There's a battle going on ahead. Scott and Joe for what might be the lead. Around the outside, tries Scott. Joe breaks late, but Scott has got the move done around the outside of turn 3. That seems like the driver's preference, but oh, I thought Joe was going to go for it there. But he hasn't. And Joe's got the move, Scott's got the move, sorry, and MWR has got a penalty. Now up top, these guys, 19 lap old hards, they're going to start to wear at this point. And Patuki's just got a penalty, not what he wants. So, Patuki 1.1 behind Speed Iceman. Scott is closing that gap rapidly. 2000 to 1. Comets off, or has had an off. So not a very good. Yeah, not a very good race. I can agree with what I was about to say. Meanwhile, I've got Big W, who has got a run on Joe, but Joe has got DRS to save himself. And as I said, they are all converging on each other towards the end of this Grand Prix, and we are probably looking at what will be a six-person battle or six-man battle towards the end. From what it is looking like, it will be a six-car battle, and potentially a five. Speed Iceman's probably in the best position, I would say, as these four behind have got to deal with Patuki. Up to with a penalty. MWR not far away now. This race will definitely come down to who has got the least penalties. Joe now losing time to Scott though. Scott's hit the wall. Meanwhile, Big W, who hasn't actually got the DRS open. How strange. Has Big W got a DRS failure? Which could be rather interesting if he has got a DRS failure. Not a very good run there for Big W. Will MWR go for it? He needs to go for it pretty soon. We get to the top six now. It's 5 seconds. Joe picks up a penalty. NWR needs to get this move done fairly quickly. Doesn't launch it down the inside. Joe's closing on Scott. I think Scott's got wing damage. Now NWR has got the move done on Big W for what is P5. So 1 down, 4 to go with 4 laps to go. This race is going to come down to the wire. Patuki's now joined the battle for P2. But Scott still hasn't got the DRS. MWR is there as well as they start lap 26 out of 29. MWR is absolutely chucking that Alfa Romeo into the corners. Looks like Big W has got a DRS failure in the worst time possible. So yeah, that's probably it for the Mercedes driver, unless the mechanics from the pit wall can get that done. Now we've got a lovely helicopter shot of NWR closing in on that. Racing Point has got the move. We'll try it. No, he won't. Joe seemingly struggling. It's a lovely... Oh, it's a lovely move and a lovely helicopter cam. Oh, the side-by-side up, going up through turn 10. And MWR's got the move. And that is another car down. 3 to go. 3.5 laps to go. Meanwhile, Scott's closing in on Patuki. This could get feisty. Scott, oh, that's a half-hearted lunge. Meanwhile, this is all up in Speed Iceman. That's Scott down inside of Patuki. And that's MWR trying it around the outside of Scott. Scott's been done by MWR. Now MWR's got Patuki to worry about. Starting lap 27. Oh, he's actually pushing that Renault through the corners. Oh, Scott's now trying it around the outside. Oh, almost around this side of Patuki. Oh, is it? Oh no, Scott and Patuki have crashed, and Patuki's got a puncture. Oh no, the Renault's got a limp back to the pits. I've got a feeling that's the reason for the cause of the crash. I believe Patuki got wing damage, and that is Raptor off. But Patuki now has got to try and limp to the pits with 3 wheels. How unfortunate. And meanwhile, if Speed Iceman is keeping an eye on the stream, that is not going to be nice for him, as he's on the same age tyres as Patuki and has to do another 2 laps on the same wear, and Raptor's out. So Iceman's got 2 things to worry about here: his tyres and the car coming up behind. So as we start the penultimate lap, Speed Iceman still leads, followed by MWR. MWR will probably get him, from what I feel like, as well, because MWR has got to try and keep them tyres. Not MWR, there's my little flag. Is that Patuki? Yeah, Patuki limping back to the pit lane, and I think Patuki will actually drop out the points. Yeah, Patuki will, which is incredibly unfortunate, battling for the win essentially, and is now not even going to be in the points. I do not believe. No, it won't be. So let's go back to the battle for first place. Going through 10, 11 and 12, NWR's got such good speed compared to that McLaren. Speed Iceman must be driving on ice. Going through turn 13, NWR's got the move done, and NWR takes the lead of the Grand Prix on the penultimate lap. And now Speed Iceman, all has to do is worry about his tyres. He still has another lap to do on them. And as we start the last lap, this will be a very good drive from Speed Iceman if he can get it to the end. Fastest lap there from NWR, so that is the extra point as well, who is just nagged for himself, and that is plus actually Big W, plus 14, possibly plus 13, at 15. Oh, lots of incidents, Wommer. Just look at the first 3 laps. We had a safety car as well. So we'll stick on board. Oh, hello, Rebecca and Letty. Letty's off! Surely Letty's not punctured. No, Letty hasn't. Letty's just lost the position. So Toro Rosso, bit more points. What's looking like it's going to be 7th and 8th. Now it's going to be 6th and 7th. So not bad there from the Toro Rosso pairing. Yes, it does one more. That's Big W closing in on Joe. We did have it. Oh, Big W has a big corner cut, and he's got a penalty for it. But anyway, we'll go on board with the Alpha, who is about to come round the final 2 corners. I don't want to say they've won yet, depending on penalties. Is that a puncture? No. But anyway, coming up to the line, the Alpha of NWR crosses the line to win here in Australia. Wins the opener. Big W gets second. Speed Iceman. Scott gets second, actually. Scott gets second. Big W third. Speed Iceman in 4th. Joe in 5th. I think maybe Bastos in 6th. Bastos 6th, Aledi 7th, Rebecca 8th. Speed Iceman going to stop go. Oh, I didn't know that. Johnny 9th, and it's going to be Stiggy 10th, possibly. Yep. Patuki, got to feel sorry for him, was battling for the lead. Guess fastest lap, doesn't even count, just takes it off MWR. So MWR doesn't get 26 points, he gets 25 because Patuki is just robbed fastest lap. Big 3 will get 13th, and that'll be it for your finishers. As I said, no podium interviews as I have got ILR 4 in about 15 minutes, and I do want to at least try and get some kind of breather going. As you see the podium interview, or podium, so if you can hear me typing. So I'll go for the classifications and then that'll be it for ILR 6 today. So we've got NWR who takes the win of the Australian Grand Prix, and second is Scott and third is Big W. That is your top 3. My driver of the day would go to Big W. 4th is Speed Iceman, 5th Joe, 6th Bastos, 7th Aledi, 8th Rebecca, 9th Johnny, 10th Stiggy. That is your top 10 who all earn points. Heavy 11th, Patuki 12th, Big 3 13th. That is your finishers, and your non-finishers of the Australian GP are Nipro, Raptor, Carmeds, OMG Brett, Niles, Ipswich Boy and Ocean. So that has been it for ILR 6. I will definitely see you next week as I am a full-time commentator. So that's been it from ILR 6. ILR 5 and ILR 4 are 15 minutes away. So for ILR action, we'll see you then.